Monday. Hey, I hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving as I'm recording this the Monday after Thanksgiving 2023. And so I hope you had an incredible time with friends, with family, whatever it is that you did, that you really enjoyed it. And now, hey, we are officially in the Christmas season. Crazy as how fast to me that this year has gone by. And so last week I talked about on Mindset Monday, talk about thankfulness and gratitude, right? All of those things as we go into Thanksgiving. And what I love about the month of November, and for me, it's always been kind of the month of gratitude, being just so grateful for the things that I have been blessed with, and so can continue to carry that on through the rest of this month, through the rest of this year. And it doesn't just have to be November, right? We can do this year round. So today, what I wanted to talk about is in the title for today's Mindset Monday, I put, how is your self-talk? Okay. And so what do I mean by when I talk about self-talk? Well, self-talk is basically exactly what it sounds. How do you talk to yourself? Now, I talk to myself a lot, and a lot of it is that I talk to myself out loud. Now, hopefully I'm not the only person that does that, because maybe that's crazy. But if you do that, hey, just drop it in the comments. That way, so I know I'm not alone, that get you talk to yourself, but you talk to yourself out loud. But what I want to share today is the importance of self-talk, meaning it's how we talk to ourselves about ourselves. And so many times of what I find is, excuse me, is that we talk probably harsher to ourselves than we probably do anyone else. I would go out on a limb and say that is about 99% accurate. And I'm just going to tell you just a quick story. There were some researchers that wanted to understand about self-talk. I'm condensing this down. So what they did is they did a study, and they brought in college age girls that had younger sisters. Okay, what these young women, not girls, I guess young women, didn't know is that their sisters were in another room right next to where they were at. And what they did is that they had them write down. They brought them in and just said, "Hey, write down all the things that you say about yourself." Okay, they didn't say the bad things or anything. They just set it up. Hey, write all of that when you talk up to yourself or about yourself. What do you say? So these young women did this, and the list was pretty shocking. It was, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm not smart enough. All of these, really, all of their so many negative things. Over 90 something percent of the things that these young women said about themselves were negative, which is really unfortunate. But what the researchers then said, okay, now what we want you to do is that your sisters are in the next room. We want you to go over and we want you to take the list that you wrote, and we want you to read that to them and tell them that this is about them. So basically, it's as if you wrote down, it says, I'm stupid, I'm ugly, I'm not good enough, is to go into that next room and tell that to your sisters if that's what they are. And as you can only imagine, these young women were like, absolutely not. I'm not going to do that. There's no way I would speak that way to my sister, because I love her and I would never say these things. What the researchers, the point of all this was that we won't say that to anyone else, but we'll say that about ourselves. And what happens with this is that when we do that, for example, and we do all, and again, hopefully I'm not the only one, is that, you mess up on something, you're like, oh, I'm such an idiot, I screwed that up, right? And as we repeat those things, is because our mind, then the more of repetition we start to hear, that is our mind kind of starts to believe that. It's like, man, I suck at everything, I'm not good at anything. It's like, okay, then why would I try? Why would I do this? And when there's opportunities placed in front of you, and we've had this negative mindset or self-talk, if you would, about that, it's like, yeah, I'm not good at that, I'm not even going to try that. And so this is why I'm sharing this with you today, is that it's so important. And I think it's that so many times that we overlook it, is of how we talk to ourselves. And so what I would challenge you with is to reframe it. Instead of saying, man, I screwed that up, man, I'm such an idiot, is go, hey, I made a mistake on this. And then it's like, then asking yourself, like, hey, what can I learn from this? So hopefully that it doesn't happen again. And so it's taking the negative and reframing, what we call reframing that into a positive. So what did I learn from that? Right? I suck at math. I'm not good at it, right? We tell her something like that and just say, hey, I'm not good at it yet. It's something that I'm working on, right? And so being really cautious and careful about how that we are talking to ourselves, because it then kind of defines like who we are, and also then how we start at times speaking to other people. Because if we don't, and again, we don't love ourselves like we would these young women that love their sisters that would not say that to them, is that we just have to be really careful about that. Okay, about controlling how we're talking to ourselves. Love yourself. It's okay. It's okay to love yourself. All right, because it's hard to love others if we don't love ourselves. And so one of the things I would just say with that is being now that I've said it, if you're watching this today, either live or on the replay, is now that's kind of in your brain. It's like going and ask yourself, or when it happens, because it won't end. I'm just telling you, I've almost 60 years on this earth and doing a lot of personal development and things over the a big part of my life. Is there still times where I'm just like, I'm like, man, such an idiot, I can't believe I did that. And then it's like catching myself in it, kind of going, okay, hey, I made a mistake. Hey, now what can I do to make a change to that? Again, it's just called a reframing. Be thinking about it. How do I move that negative self-talk and make that into something that is going to be positive, right? Because again, we're building that muscle, right? For our mindset to come from, we talk about a growth and fixed mindset, but a growth mindset, and also working on a positive mindset. And it's not Pollyanna where it's like, oh, everything in the world is perfect and great and it always will be. No, but it's like, how do I find the positive in each situation? Because what I look for, I find. What we focus on expands. And so let's focus on the positive words that we're saying about ourselves, because it will make an amazing difference in your life and in the life of others as well. So, hey, that's what I've got for you today on today's Mindset Monday. Hey, as always, thank you so much for letting me be on here on Monday, for being part of this community. I greatly appreciate it. Have an amazing, amazing week. And hey, next time I talk, we'll already be into the month of December. So go out, enjoy it, and we'll talk to you soon.